I'm in hell, chat. I'm in hell. And that's saying a lot coming from the fact that I was just fighting COVID this weekend. So I've been in double hell. And now that I'm coming to, um, this 0-2 record does not feel nice. It does not. I'm in hell. But at least Maya's doing okay over there. Let's just roll this intro and get on to these week 3 picks. Hello everybody and welcome to week 3 of the 2024 NFL season and my prediction picks. I'm your host Catherine of the Blind Canadian Cat YouTube channel, featuring the lovely Maya, here to provide moral support in the backdrop. I say meow, she barks though, but I always roll intros, and you've known that for oh so very long. And well, I can say all I want. I know I definitely wasn't the only one. A lot of us were in hell as the week 3 series of upsets decided to hit us in week 2. And I don't know if that's just an indictment on the NFL season as is, if that's the lack of preseason games and starters played in the preseason coming back to bite a lot of teams. Because if you look at the numbers, there has been not a lot of offensive production compared to previous years. We're kind of lacking on the offense a little bit here. Hell, everyone's going for 3, or everyone's settling for the field goals more, which is ironic because a lot of analytic people like to go for it instead of taking the 3. Philly, I'm looking at you bitches. I have a lot of words I want to say. And, poor play calling aside, hey, take that 3 early. Maybe you wouldn't have lost that game had you had those 3 points early on. Now, obviously, that's not the reason they lost the game. But I'm just saying, in a game late in the first quarter where both teams are struggling to score, you take points when you can get them. Jake Elliott, who might be the best kicker in the league right now, since Tucker can't seem to hit a 50-yarder anymore to save his life, is right there. Chip shot 30's easy for him. Let him lead. Let him take points. And yes, I'm being a hater, but take points. I don't want to get it, but besides the point, everyone has struggled this week. I don't think I know a single person who did better than 9-7. I ended with 8-8. I'll take my 8-8 and I'll run with it. And if you look back at how the rest of the group did, they also went 8-8. Sublief went 8-8. Isaac went 8-8. Amanda went 7-9. But even then, Isaac called the Vikings upsetting the Niners. Sublief called the Saints upsetting the Cowboys. Amanda called the Bucks upsetting the Lions. I think Justin called that too, but I kind of forgot to watch the back half of Justin's picks, so maybe. But I go 8-8 straight up, 7-9 against the spread. In a week that felt like hell, you know, if you can break even straight up and be right there with the spreads, I bite my tongue. I take what I can get. This week's been hell for a multitude of reasons. So, let's try to look on some positives and on the bright side of things. And let's get ready to go into this next week and my picks. And we're going to break down some games. And the first game I want to break down, before I do such, I want to shout out a good friend of mine, my old high school best friend. Hello, Nathias. He has been in my ass since the start of the season because of the Saints, who have now not only dominated Carolina, which we're realizing anyone can dominate Carolina, so say la vie on that, but just kicked the shit out of the Cowboys, too. Now, I'm no coordinator nerd or analytic nerd, but apparently Dan Orlovsky saw this a mile away. But, are the Saints good this year? I mean, beating the Cowboys early on doesn't mean anything. They lost to the Cardinals last year, and that Cardinals team finished with what, 3 wins, 4 wins? So, I don't know what being in the Cowboys early on says anything about anyone, but the Saints are 2-0 now. They've dropped 40 in both games. You can't really ignore that. And then on the flip side, they're hosting the Eagles. And the Eagles, it feels like they don't know what they are doing either. Especially with last night, that was a choke. Top to bottom choke. You couldn't pick up that first down. You run a weird play. Yes, if they hit it, game's over. We're all celebrating. But you don't hit it, so you leave all this time on the or whatever, and you let them drive on your defense, and you gave up. Your whole team collapsed in itself, and then you take unnecessary risk, which yes, limited time, but it was just a collapse, top to bottom, from everyone. And overall, just not great play calling, not a great game. Just, I don't know what's going on with Philadelphia. I don't know. So, it feels weird. It doesn't feel right. At only 2.5? I think I'm gonna take it. I think I'm gonna roll with New Orleans. Now, see, watch this. Now that I picked them, they're gonna lose this game. Because that's my luck. But I think I'm rolling with them. I'm not confident in Philly right now. I think Philly finds themselves at the end of the season. But right now, I don't know how to feel about this team. So, I'll take the Saints, and I'll roll with it. And I won't think twice about it. Second game I want to peep into. A little near and dear to my heart. My beautiful Baltimore Ravens, who have fallen to 0-2, are going to Dallas to take on those Cowboys that just gave up 40 points to the Saints. So now we got two teams, and I don't know who tweeted this out, but there was a tweet about you'd think that Lamar and Dak are the only QBs to not win Super Bowls based on how a lot of online media and personalities, TV talk show hosts, radio hosts, the way everyone talks about it, you'd think that they're the only two that haven't won anything. But right now, both of them, you're looking at this, what's going on here with the both of them, and both teams and both organizations, and it's not looking good for both. But I look at this game, I see Baltimore is still favored, which is crazy. The way that they've looked, they're favored going into Dallas, which, yeah, had Dallas, not given up 44 points, maybe they'd be the favorite, but it's just interesting. It's interesting to me. But, when I look at something like this, I think it comes down to desperation. Both teams are going to be desperate to prove themselves, because both these teams should, allegedly, be Super Bowl contenders. So the fact that they're both kind of looking shaky to start, it brings a lot to wonder, but ultimately, to me, it comes down to more desperation. And the Ravens don't want to fall to 0-3. Not in the AFC. There's too much going on in there. Dallas, they could lose this game. The NFC doesn't have a whole lot going for it. I'm expecting Minnesota to flame out. I love what they're doing. I love it. I'm happy for Darnold. But man, I'm expecting Minnesota to flame out hard. So I'm not counting on them. Green Bay without Jordan Love, we'll see. But supposedly he's coming back soonish. I don't know. I'd give him about a couple more weeks, but apparently he's gearing up to go soonish. Yeah, and that NFC East, who knows? So I think Baltimore's more desperate. I think they'll need it more. I think they'll benefit from it more. So I'm taking the Ravens 1.5 as a road favorite. Crazy, but you know what? You take it. Dallas can live with 1 and 2. I don't think the Ravens can live with 0 and 3. So I'm rolling with the Ravens. And then the last game, we're looking at Sunday night game, Falcons and the Chiefs. Those Falcons put up a dud against Pittsburgh, and then somehow, fourth quarter game on the line, under 2 minutes. What was it, no timeouts? Kirk drove the field. Kirk drove the field. So he wins when they need it most. And someone pointed this out to me recently. Kirk Cousins is now 5-1 in his last 6 primetime games. A guy who usually struggles in primetime. He's 5-1 in his last 6. Yeah, and that's... Kirk Cousins might find something. It's still hard to gauge. This Atlanta team should be good, but it's how good are they actually going to be? And the Chiefs 2-0, and they've beaten what you would say would be 2 good teams. But let's reverse it now and look at what it is looking like right now. They barely won twice to 2 teams who are now 0-2 and don't look nearly as good as we think they'd be. You'd think KC and Baltimore going wire to wire. You'd think that would say a lot about both teams. But Baltimore falling flat on their face. Cincinnati usually still falls flat on their face early on. And they didn't even have T. Higgins. It was Jamar who's bitching about a contract, and T. Higgins has been out. It's been close games against both. How good is this KC team? How good are they really? I mean, yes, they'll bullshit their way to another Super Bowl appearance because that's the Chiefs. That's what they do. But early on, how good are they really? What do these games really mean to KC? They already proved that they can be a 3 seed and, just kind of cruise control all the way to the Super Bowl. How good is this team really? To the point that on the road, there's just something. There's just something. It smells like an upset to me. It does. I can't explain it. But I think the Falcons take this game. I think the Falcons find a way. At home, Sunday Night Football. I just think they do. It's not the craziest upset pick in the world, but I think they do. So 3.5, grab it, run with it. I think they do. Bold, but I'm rolling with it. I turn this way. Damayamu! Show the rest of them my week 3 picks. Close enough, there are spiraling, so she did it. There you go, Maya. The week 3 picks. Jets over Patriots. I think that game's gonna be too close. I don't want to give the Jets 6.5. Hell no. Colts over the Bears, even though the Colts shitted brick fucking against the Packers. Whatever. Texans over the Vikings again. I think Minnesota's gonna flame out hard. Chargers over Steelers. I don't have faith in Pittsburgh. And the Chargers have a run game. Which, Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman. They're gonna have a run game. Bucks blow out Denver. Raiders blow out the Panthers, even though with Andy Dalton starting, I think he has a chance to do some of the funniest things ever. Go on, Andy Dalton. Pull off that upset. Seattle blows up the Dolphins. I think this should be higher. They're going in with Skyler this game. I think Seattle's going to wipe the floor with them. Lions over Cards, so I wouldn't hate you if you went the other way. And yeah. And that's that. We'll pop into fantasy. 3-3 in fantasy overall. But the LOA not looking so bright. That's going to fall me to 0-2. And a lot of 1-1s everywhere else. But 0-2 in LOA. Not looking good for me. Hopefully we can turn it around. But if not, well, shit. I don't know. That's all I got, really. Thank you all for tuning in to the Week 3 picks. Thank you, Maya, for for being in the sunlight and being given this heavenly glow around you. Don't stare at the eyes or she'll take your soul. Right, Mayamu? And with that, thank you all for watching. I am Catherine. You are on the Blind Canadian Cat YouTube channel. Choose peace, accept love, and have big trust. Goodbye, Internet. Bye.